General strikes have long been a dream of America's radical labor leaders. 90 years ago, dock workers made that dream a reality in San Francisco, sending ripples across the country for generations. What happened to bring this dream to life? Well, picture this. It's 1934, 5 years after the massive stock market crash that started the worst economic crisis the industrialized world has ever seen. People are losing their homes, their jobs, and feeling hopeless. But people are also angry. And around you, workers begin to rise, fighting back through their unions on scales never seen before. Dock workers, or longshoremen, led the charge as one of the economy's largest and most important sectors at the time, because they moved most essential goods and commerce around the country and internationally. The economy couldn't run without them. Yet they had spent years struggling against safety issues on the docks across the West Coast, where life-altering injuries, punishingly long hours, and poverty wages were the norm. The company's hiring practice, called the shape-up system, was the biggest grievance of all. It required workers to line up every day at the ports and beg for work, a humiliatingly discriminatory system. The boss, the petty dictator on the dock, would stand before them. He could take any man he wanted and reject anyone he pleased. This was an ancient system, and the workers named it as such, coining it the slave market. 2 years before the general strike, a small group of radical dock workers in San Francisco began a new publication, The Waterfront Worker, to agitate on their core demands and on the need for a fighting union to carry them. This group, called the Albion Hall Group, after where they met, was led by Harry Bridges, the famous immigrant dock worker from Australia who would lead the union. He spent the majority of his life under attack by the US government, dodging deportation for his militancy and communist politics. Tired of the abuses and growing militant political organization, dock workers walked off the job across all major West Coast ports on May 9, 1934, as they demanded the contract they deserved and would accept absolutely nothing less. This included Seattle, Tacoma, Portland, San Francisco, San Pedro, and San Diego. From the moment the workers began protesting, there were clashes between them, scabs, and the police. The cops used violence to try to quell the movement, which hit a boiling point when the bosses attempted to reopen the port on July 5th. The longshoremen tried to shut it down again, and in the clashes, the police killed 2 more workers and injured many more. The very next day, thousands of workers and families joined the funeral procession. These murders were the final straw, and the movement completely exploded into a new phase. On Monday, July 16th, the general strike was called, and 150,000 San Francisco workers walked off the job. The city was completely shut down, putting bosses across the entire region in a crisis, as San Francisco was one of the largest port cities in the country. For 4 long days, the workers basically ran the city, and their power reached new heights. It was the culmination of the decades-long struggle for higher wages, fair hiring practices, safe working conditions, and union representation, which they won in the face of brutal retaliation. The business elite threw everything they had at them. They conspired with politicians, enlisted strikebreakers, and sent out highly militarized police. And as expected, they used Red Scare tactics to demonize the union and justify arrests of quote-unquote radical workers. Regardless, the general public rallied behind them and supported the workers' fight. The strike came to a close on July 31st when the bosses finally agreed to negotiate with the workers on their core demands. They ultimately won a 95-cent raise, a hiring haul, and union recognition. The highly progressive International Longshoremen's and Warehousemen's Union, the ILWU, is still recognized today. This historic victory marked an intense year of working-class struggle across the country, which scared the politicians and bosses enough that the next year, they passed the National Labor Relations Act as a concession to the labor movement. San Francisco dock workers showed us all 90 years ago the kind of labor movement we can build today. An injury to one is an injury to all is not just a slogan, it's a call to action. When the cops and the bosses come for any one of us, it's up to all of us to shut it down and fight for justice.